For this passage, I'm on page 27 of the textbook, and I am going to put in our little picture here, if it'll fit for me. Remember on the last passage, the one about the bridge, we looked at an idea with reasons and evidence. So let's take a look at this passage, which is a little bit longer. There is a question that goes with it, and I know they already give us the answer in the textbook, but I want to show you where the answer is coming from. Actually, answers in the textbook. It says to read the passage, then answer the question. Today, consumers have the choice of either buying or leasing new cars. For most people, leasing is the better option. Monthly lease payments on a car are usually lower than loan payments. Lease payments are shorter than loan payments too. A typical lease might be for 36 months. At the end of the lease, you can buy the car, lease another new car, or buy a new car. Leasing allows you to trade out car models frequently, so your car is always under warranty. One drawback is that leases often have mileage limits or other restrictions. When you buy a new car, you usually take out a loan. Even if your credit is not excellent, you can probably qualify for a new car loan. A typical car loan is for 60 or 72 months. After the loan is paid, you own the car. You can drive as many miles as you wish. However, there are drawbacks to owning a car. After the warranty runs out, you have to pay for all repairs. When you decide to sell your car or trade it in, you do not know how much money you will get for it. Now, at first glance, I would say this passage would fit this kind of diagram, where I would put lease and buy as the two options, and you can certainly do a VIN if you want to. But in this particular case, the author is making an argument. And here it is. This is the argument or the claim. Remember, it's an idea, a point, or a claim about a topic. The topic is buying or leasing a car. Just like we've got over here with our VIN, we have buying or leasing. That's the topic, regardless of how we diagram it. The main idea of this particular passage, though, from the author's point of view, leasing is a better option than buying. Now, you may disagree, and I may disagree, but that really has nothing to do with this, because we have to base our answers on what this author has to say. So the author is saying, really, I'm just going to draw an arrow because that main idea is the point that they're trying to make. So usually you'll be able to do that. Just draw the arrow from the main idea down. You don't have to rewrite it. So why? Why is it that leasing, in this author's opinion, is a better idea? Well, we have to look back at our passage for that. And it tells a lot of reasons. It says that lease payments are lower than purchase payments. Let me just go back up here and highlight that for you. I'm trying to. Lease payments on a car that you're leasing are usually lower than loan payments. Lease payments are shorter than loan payments. A typical lease might be for 36 months, that's 3 years. At the end of the lease, you have options. You can buy the car, you can lease another car, or buy a completely new car. You get to trade out models more frequently so that your car is always under warranty. So those are the reasons the author gives you for wanting to lease a car. So payments are lower and shorter. You're not in a contract for quite as long. You have options when the lease is up. You can keep the car if you want it. So really you get to drive it for 3 years to see if it's the one you want. If you do, you go ahead and buy it. If you don't, you turn it in for another one. You can trade out cars more often. And a big one for folks who lease is that it's always under warranty, because most cars now have a 3-year warranty at least. So you don't have to worry about paying for repairs. Okay, so our point is that leasing is a better option. Reasons that support that: payments are lower, options when the lease is up, you can trade out often, and you're always under warranty. Those really are the pieces of evidence, because those reasons are factual reasons. They're not someone's opinion. They're actually evidence to support a claim that leasing would be a better option. And if that turns out to be the case, don't rewrite all that stuff. Just draw the arrows. Remember what this is for. This is for thinking through this process. Okay. Now, there's another piece to that paragraph that I didn't address. And it's not more reasons to lease. It's really a reason not to lease. So I want to not ignore that, because the author is not saying that leasing is perfect. There is a drawback. Leases often have mileage limits or other restrictions. So I'm going to put that down here. Okay? Just because it needs to be there. It doesn't really support the main idea here, but it's important. It's an important piece of evidence. Often you are limited on mileage or some other thing. I'm not sure what the other thing would be. I've never leased a car, so I don't really know, but I'll take the author's word for it at this point. Okay, let's try our question. Now, I know the answer's already given to us. It's right here. All right. But let's see why it is true. And I want to show you something else. Read the sentence. However, there are drawbacks to leasing a car. No. To owning a car. Be careful there. We spent all of our time supporting the author's claim that leasing is a better option than buying. We went through all of the reasons why. We did acknowledge the drawback, but we have focused on leasing. The question focuses on owning. So the point I'm trying to make here is that this does not match my diagram. It's okay though, we didn't waste our time. Unless you're in the habit of reading your questions first, this is going to happen. There are going to be times that you focus on the wrong information. Two pieces of information I want you to notice here. First of all, you have to read your question carefully. Make sure that you understand what they're asking you to find. The second thing I want you to notice here is that you use the piece that you drew, the piece that you pulled out of there and that you thought through to help you answer the questions here. There are drawbacks to owning a car. Okay? We know that the payments are longer than leasing. We know that there aren't many options when the lease is up. You don't get to trade out. It's not always under warranty. So those things right here that are good about leasing would not be true about buying, about owning a car. But there's an easier way. You can just look back at your passage and look for the drawbacks of owning a car, which is right here. It says it word for word. Drawbacks to owning a car. After the warranty runs out, you have to pay for all repairs. That's one thing. When you decide to sell your car or trade it in, you do not know how much money you will get for it. So there's another drawback to owning. Even those drawbacks to owning are helping to support the idea that leasing is a better option. So, one thing I would add to the evidence is this. This is how the piece fits in to our diagram. This is a tough skill, in my opinion. And notice I'm saying owning, not leasing. And the drawbacks are, remember what we just highlighted right here in green. You have to pay for repairs when the warranty runs out. That's not the case with leasing. You also do not know how much money you can get for your car. Now, those things support the author's claim that leasing is a better deal. It's a better thing to do. So really, all of these things, except the red part, are reasons that you should lease a car. Question says, there are drawbacks to owning a car. What two pieces of evidence support this statement? So if I just mark B and move on, I have missed this question. You have to be sure that you understand what they're asking you to do. A, you do not have to have excellent credit to get a car loan. Well, that's not a drawback to buying. That's a good thing. You have to pay for repairs after the warranty runs out. That's one of the drawbacks to owning. It's right here. You can drive unlimited miles. Well, that would be a positive part of owning a car. But you do not know how much money you will get for your car when you sell it or trade it in. That's the other drawback. So we sort of went the long way around on this passage, but I wanted to show you how sometimes these things can mess with your mind a little bit. You have to really pay attention to what they're asking you to find. So the question is incredibly important. The answer to this question is B and D, two pieces of evidence. Okay, in the next video, I am going to stop this one. We will look at a longer passage and see some more extensive questions. So I'll see you in that video very soon.